Welcome to this deep dive. You sent us the PAI morning briefing from PantheonAI, dated April 2nd, 2025, and we're going to pull out the key market intelligence and corporate news that really jumped out.
Exactly. Think of it as us doing the legwork, getting the essential insights from their experts, so you don't have to wade through everything.
Yeah, it's a shortcut, really. This briefing, it covers market movements, big corporate actions, sector stuff, even some predictions.
Right. It gives it really efficient snapshots. So let's break it down.
Okay, let's dive right into the market overview PantheonAI provided. They had the S&P 500 closing at 5596.86, which was up, but only slightly, 0.288%.
Modest.
And the Dow Jones at 417,756.82, even flatter, up just 0.049%.
Barely moved.
But interestingly, the Nasdaq showed a bit more life. It closed at 10314.59. That's a 0.54% gain.
Yeah, that's the one that stands out a bit from the others. And the Russell 2000.
Russell 2000 ended at 2012.24, also a small gain, up 0.23%.
So you see this sort of gentle upward trend in the traditional equities, right? But the Nasdaq, that stronger performance, it makes you wonder, as PantheonAI probably intended.
Right. Is it tech bouncing back or just a few big names pulling it up?
Exactly. Or maybe a bit of rebalancing going on. It's something to watch.
Definitely. And then switching gears, PantheonAI also hit on cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was hovering around $84,959.70, actually down a tiny bit, 0.246%.
Okay, so pretty flat there too, relatively speaking, for Bitcoin.
But Ethereum, that saw a more noticeable dip. It closed near $1,866.54, which was a drop of 2.035%.
Okay, so that contrast, the cautious gains in stocks versus this dip, especially in Ethereum. It's interesting.
Yeah, PantheonAI seemed to imply that maybe earnings and a stable-ish economy are supporting stocks?
Right, giving that cautious optimism. But Ethereum's drop is a reminder, isn't it? Digital assets still got that higher volatility.
Absolutely. Are we just seeing normal fluctuations, or is it like a bigger reassessment of value happening in crypto?
Good question. Hard to say from one day, but it's definitely a different vibe than the equity side.
Okay, so moving on from the broad market, the PantheonAI briefing then got into some specific stories. First up, Nano Dimension acquiring Desktop Metal. That feels pretty significant for digital manufacturing.
Oh, absolutely. PantheonAI called it a combination of digital manufacturing prowess. It's two major players coming together.
Right. They mentioned potential for better products, wider services.
Yeah, it's that synergy idea, right? Maybe Nano Dimension's electronics focus plus Desktop Metal's metal printing tech could lead to some really innovative stuff. Hybrid solutions, perhaps.
Makes sense. Okay, then in biotech, PantheonAI flagged a reverse merger, Allakos and Concentra Biosciences.
Right, the reverse merger. A quicker path to public trading for Concentra, essentially. Right. And PantheonAI noted the deal valued Allakos shares at about 33 cents cash per share.
So what's the bigger picture there strategically?
Well, PantheonAI seemed to suggest it's part of a pattern, Biotech firms needing partnerships. R&D is expensive, regulations are tough.
So pooling resources, speeding things up.
Exactly. Share resources, accelerate development, maybe get access to existing infrastructure or market reach. It's often a smart play in that sector.
Got it. Okay, shifting again. Aerospace. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg facing a Senate hearing, unsurprisingly about manufacturing and safety issues.
Yeah, and PantheonAI rightly framed this as bigger than just Boeing. It's about corporate accountability, isn't it?
Definitely. Balancing that recovery push with, well, making sure things are actually safe long term.
Right. The level of scrutiny is intense. What happens here could really shape how Boeing operates and maybe even regulations for the whole industry.
Huge implications. Okay, energy sector next. PantheonAI covered Aero Energy and Kraken Energy merging, both uranium developers.
Another consolidation play, as PantheonAI pointed out, fits that broader energy market trend.
And the angle here is uranium efficiency.
Yeah, potentially more efficient sourcing by combining assets and, with renewed interest, possibly bubbling up for nuclear energy globally.
Good timing then.
Could be. Merging now might position them well if that nuclear interest really takes off.
Okay, back to tech, sort of. PantheonAI noted OpenAI investing $43 million in adaptive security. They're a deepfake cybersecurity startup.
That's a fascinating one. And PantheonAI likely highlighted it because it shows how seriously major AI players are taking the threat of deepfakes.
Right. AI creating the problem, AI helping solve it.
Kind of. OpenAI investing in defenses against AI-generated deception. It's strategic. It's about building trust in the digital space they're helping create. Very forward-thinking.
Makes sense. More energy news from PantheonAI. RPC acquiring Pintel Completions, about $245 million, focused on the Permian Basin.
Yep, more consolidation. And PantheonAI probably reads this as a continued bet on traditional energy, right?
Even with the renewables push.
Exactly. Oil and gas demand is still massive globally. Expanding in a key area like the Permian, that positions RPC to meet that ongoing need. It's a practical bet.
Okay. Then there was Leggett and Platt. PantheonAI reported they sold off their aerospace products group for about $285 million.
Right, described as streamlining operations. A classic move, really.
Focusing on core stuff.
Precisely. Selling off a non-core unit lets them reinvest that capital where they see better growth potential. Happens all the time. Smart portfolio management at the corporate level.
Got it. And PantheonAI wrapped up the deals with a couple more. Gainsight buying Skilljar, focused on learning everywhere in agentic education.
Sounds very digital transformation-y. Continuous personalized learning.
And Night Food Holdings acquiring carryout supplies. That one was framed as vertical integration in AI-powered hospitality automation.
Interesting. So very specific plays again, showing how companies are using acquisitions to adapt, integrate AI, improve efficiency, even in niche areas like hospitality tech.
Okay, so let's pull back like PantheonAI did and look at the sectors. Tech, clearly buzzing. Acquisitions, VC money. That Nano Dimension desktop metal deal really shows that blend of digital manufacturing and material science.
Definitely. And the OpenAI investment in adaptive security, as PantheonAI stressed, just hammers home how vital cybersecurity is, especially against AI-driven threats. It's not just a side issue anymore.
For sure. Then biotech. PantheonAI's analysis seemed to point to value creation from both the science and the smart financial moves, like that Allakos reverse merger.
That's the game in biotech, isn't it? Huge potential from breakthroughs, but also huge risks and costs. So financial structuring, partnerships, they're critical survival tools.
Makes sense. Energy. The Aero Kraken deal, RPC buying Pintail. PantheonAI presented this as consolidation and strategic bets within traditional energy, even while renewables grow.
Right. It's not either. Traditional energy isn't vanishing overnight. These moves are about making that part of the sector more efficient and competitive for the long haul.
Two tracks running at once.
Exactly. And finally, aerospace and industrial. PantheonAI used Boeing's troubles versus Leggett and Platt's divestiture to illustrate adaptability.
Yeah, basically the need for agility, whether you're reacting to a crisis like Boeing or proactively streamlining like Leggett and Platt, you've got to be able to pivot.
Absolutely crucial in today's market. You can't just stand still.
So, zooming out even more, PantheonAI touched on the global ripples from all this. These deals aren't just happening in isolation, right?
Not at all. The world's too connected. PantheonAI rightly points out that a tech manufacturing merger impacts supply chains everywhere. Boeing's scrutiny, that affects international partners, global regulations.
And the energy merger could set precedents elsewhere.
Could influence how other regions approach energy security? Sure. Everything's linked.
It really underscores that interconnectedness.
Definitely. Which leads nicely into the expert insights and predictions PantheonAI offered. They saw that cautious optimism in the indexes.
But tempered by the crypto volatility.
Right. So their overall outlook, as PantheonAI put it, was for continued steady, albeit slow, progress. But expect bumps, geopolitics, economic shifts. Sporadic volatility is basically baked in.
Sounds about right. And they predicted more M&A.
Yeah, especially in tech and energy. That drive for efficiency, adapting to digital transformation. It fuels deals. We're seeing that play out already.
And for aerospace, PantheonAI suggested Boeing's hearing might lead to tighter oversight, new rules?
Potentially, yes. Which might seem like a negative, but PantheonAI framed it as potentially enhancing long-term sustainability and maybe even rebuilding trust.
Interesting take. What about biotech?
Continued growth opportunities, according to PantheonAI, but for companies that master both the science and the finances. That balancing act is key.
High risk, high reward. And cybersecurity.
Investments like OpenAI's and adaptive security are crucial, PantheonAI emphasized. It's a direct response to the growing threat of digital deception. Expect more focus there.
So pulling it all together, PantheonAI's final thought was about investment strategy.
Yeah, they suggested a hybrid approach might be best. Blend stability with flexibility. Some assets for steady ground, others for growth potential. Makes sense in this kind of mixed market.
A balanced portfolio approach.
Pretty much. Diversification remains key.
The briefing also left us with some big questions, didn't it? Like, how will these mergers reshape global supply chains?
Right. And could more regulation actually spur innovation? It sometimes does.
And what about these blurring lines between sectors? leading to new alliances.
Those are the big strategic questions PantheonAI wants us thinking about. The answers will really shape the future business landscape. Lots of implications there for investors.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into the PantheonAI morning briefing, what are the absolute key takeaways they wanted listeners to grasp?
I'd say three things. One, the market's showing steady, if slow, progress overall. Look at those small index moves.
Okay, steady progress.
Two, there's major transformation happening under the surface, especially in tech, energy, and biotech. Lots of change.
Transformation, got it.
And three, all these mergers and acquisitions. They're not just noise. They're signals of confidence, strategic positioning, and where companies see future growth. Pay attention to the M&A.
Right. M&A as a key indicator. Excellent summary. So, this deep dive, straight from that PantheonAI briefing, hopefully gave you a clear, quick understanding of the key market dynamics from that day.
Yeah, we hope it provides some valuable insights. And we really encourage you to think about how these trends, the tech shifts, the energy consolidation, the biotech plays, might affect your own strategies.
Are there new opportunities popping up? How do these corporate deals change the competitive field for companies you hold?
Those are exactly the questions to mull over.
Absolutely. And hey, if anything we discussed from this PantheonAI source sparked more questions for you, please just reach out. We're always game to dig deeper.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us for this exploration of your PantheonAI material. We look forward to the next deep dive with you. Stay curious, stay informed.
And keep making sense of the markets together.